Hello and welcome along to the match, where the game in question this week sees Real Madrid travel to the chilly city of Valladolid. And when we say chilly, we mean absolutely freezing. Temperatures on Saturday night set to drop below zero in the Estadio Zorrilla, so potentially some difficult conditions for Los Blancos against the Valladolid side, who are playing well and currently in 7th place in the La Liga table. With me as ever to preview the game is Tim Stannard. Tim, welcome along.
Always a pleasure.
Now, before we talk about the Valladolid game, let's reflect quickly on Real Madrid's last match. It was a 4-1 victory over Ajax in the Champions League, the final game in the group stages. Job done.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised because sometimes these games can be a bit flat, especially if you're mixing youth team players with those who don't really play too much and first teamers. And we saw that perhaps in the Cup a couple of weeks ago. This was very professional, very competent against a very good side in Ajax, but they made them look like a very average side. So I think they delivered what they had to do. Manchester City couldn't sort of get their act together to take advantage of that. So a lot of positives from the game. Jose Callejon, 7 goals now in 9 Champions League games, and he's really pushing for a starting place. I think any other club apart from Real Madrid, perhaps he would be. 18 in 54 for Real Madrid. Modric, good game as well, and a nice goal for Kaká. So a lot of positives on that match.
There certainly were. Speaking of Kaká, who was captain for the evening, we can hear from him. He spoke to Real Madrid TV after the game.
It's very good for me.
Cool.
Played tonight and scored another goal. And now I didn't know, but I'm the best Brazilian scorer in Champions League, so I'm very happy for that. 28 goals in Champions, so this goal was important for me and for this number now.
Very important for you. Congratulations, and congratulations for a win for the team. You'd already qualified, but it was still important you got that win, wasn't it?
Yes, also because we haven't been winners after 3 games, so the victory tonight was important for that. And now we have to wait to the next step, and we'll see what's our opponent now.
Yeah, well, you've been through such a difficult group stage. It's almost as if whatever comes next, you'll be able to deal with.
Yes, now we have to wait, and Madrid always wanted to be the first, but unfortunately we couldn't in this very hard group. So now we have to wait to the next step.
Kay Murray with the questions there to Kaká. Let's take a quick look at who Real Madrid's potential opponents could be in the Champions League in the next round. In the knockout stages, the last 16, obviously Real Madrid finished 2nd in Group D, so it means they'll face one of the group winners. One of these 5, pretty tough.
It's a very tough one. There's going to be a few nervous Real Madrid fans before that draw is made next Thursday. I'd divide these into 3 groups, perhaps 2 they really don't want. We'll deal with those first. Juventus and Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich has always been a bogey side for Real Madrid, looking very strong this season, even stronger than last year. Juventus, I think, Italian champions, are underestimated still by people. I think they're going to be a pushover, but again, they were very, very good in their group, especially against Chelsea. Manchester United is kind of middle, I'd say, on that one. It's not the strongest Manchester United we've seen, but they're always going to be hard. And then you'd have to say PSG, Schalke. Schalke, perhaps the one they want the most. PSG, maybe not as strong as people think, but I'd like PSG simply to have Zlatan against Ronaldo on the pitch. What a battle that would be. That would be a fantastic spectacle.
Certainly would be. We'll find out who Real Madrid play on the 20th of December when the draw is taken. More pressing matters, though, is the game in Valladolid on Saturday evening. 1 or 2 injury doubts or problems for Real Madrid, namely Fabio Contrao, who went off against Ajax with a hamstring problem, or so it looked like.
This one won't be too bad because they got Arbeloa back this time, so I don't think there's going to be problems about who's going to take that place. But this game is all about mentality for Real Madrid, and this has been their problem, especially away from home. Something Jose Mourinho has always spoken about, making sure that they deal with every single game. He said this before the Ajax game. He said what he wants from his side is to deal with Alcoyano as they would against Borussia Dortmund, as they would against Barcelona. So he's looking for consistency, and Madrid have had 2 fairly comfortable games. Atletico made life very easy for them at the Santiago Bernabeu, and of course they had that dead rubber against Ajax, although it was professional. So they've really got to sort of raise their mental level to what is going to be a tough battle against Valladolid. I'm going to give you some statistics here, which makes this a very dangerous match. Real Madrid in the league have played 7, won 3, drawn 1, but lost 3. And we know those games against Betis, against Getafe, against Sevilla. And Valladolid have played 7 at home and lost just the 1. So already it doesn't look easy for Real Madrid. What's needed at the moment is perhaps a fresh perspective, perhaps a fresh impetus, and to be ready for this game. I think they're missing Higuain badly. He's been now 1 month out, so they've missed a bit of variety up front. If Benzema doesn't score, it's Ronaldo and not too many other people at the moment are finding a way from home. So they do need him back. But you said, Contrao's out, Arbeloa left back, Nacho's in the squad. They got SCN back, but it's less to do with what's going on the field, but more to do what's going on in the players' heads this time round.
Well, let's take a look at who Tim thinks is going to be starting the game for Real Madrid at Valladolid on Saturday evening. And as we said, no Fabio Contrao, so he's not going to be playing at left back. So we think it's going to be Álvaro Arbeloa slotting in at left back. We'll have Sergio Ramos at right back, and Rafael Varane will come in to the centre of defence.
Yeah, the one doubt I have, you know what? I would probably put Cajon in this game. This is what I was thinking during the Betis match. It's the kind of match that Cajon is built for, because he is the scrapper, someone who has come from Espanyol after leaving Real Madrid originally. So he knows what's required in these matches, and they're not always going to be pretty. And I think Di Maria sometimes wants to go for something a bit more elaborate. I think Cajon's a lot more direct. And you know what? Even Kaká might get a start ahead of Ozil, despite playing in the Champions League again, because when he came on against Betis, he performed very well and he was up for that. And again, it's going to be Benzema at the moment, although Morata is in the squad, Xabi Alonso and Khedira. So, but there could be a few surprises, perhaps. The main one, again, I think Cajon deserves a start. Not sure he's going to get it, though.
Still a fairly strong starting 11 for Real Madrid for the trip to Valladolid, which is on Saturday night. It is an 8 o'clock kickoff Spanish time. Let's talk a little bit about Valladolid, because they're 7th in the table, as we said. They're playing some nice stuff.
Really surprised me. I thought they were one of my favourites to go down, basically. They went up from the Segunda division through the playoffs, and they're the weakest squad, the smallest budget, didn't really had any change in players, just a couple of free transfers coming in from the side that got them up. But what they got now is pretty much half the points they need to stay up. It's true that in that cluster of teams like Sevilla, Valladolid, Getafe, there is much of a muchness. Real Sociedad, what they're doing is basically knocking out the points against the sides they know they can beat, and they did that very well last Monday against Sevilla. A very impressive display, very consistent, just one defeat in the last 6 back-to-back wins, so very high in confidence. And sometimes teams talk about, oh, this isn't our league when they play games like Real Madrid, but you know what, Valladolid, I think, will be going in there rather like Betis with we've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So they've never conceded more than 2 this season, never scored more than 2 apart from one occasion. So you can tell the type of team it is: hard-working, scrappy. I don't use the word grim, but they're kind of gritty. Thank you very much. Battling. They're kind of like Sunderland in England or something like that. So it's going to be a packed Zorrilla. It's going to be very cold there. And I think it's a really dangerous game for Real Madrid, this one, because of Real Madrid's away record combined with Valladolid's home record.
Well, to continue the English analogy, weather-wise, it might be a little bit like a cold Tuesday night in Stoke, because Valladolid are absolutely freezing. It's the coldest stadium in the Spanish First Division, so fingers crossed that won't affect Real Madrid. Right, let's take a look at some of the other matches that are taking place in the Spanish top flight this weekend and get Tim's predictions. Espanyol against Sevilla is the Friday night game.
Yep, Sevilla a disaster zone at the moment. Javier Guidi to get a win for Espanyol.
What about Real Sociedad, who are also playing some nice stuff, hosting Getafe?
Well, Getafe, the form side, but Real Sociedad also had that great win against Valencia. Home win.
Malaga against Granada.
Home win from Malaga, I think, on this one.
The big one for us is Valladolid against Madrid.
You know what? I think it's going to be 1-1. I think Madrid are going to struggle in this game.
The new manager in charge of Valencia is Valverde. He travels to Pamplona to take on Osasuna.
Not where you want to go, especially. So I think this one's actually going to be a 1-0 win for Osasuna.
Levante hosting Mallorca.
Levante through safely in the Europa League, and Mallorca not doing well. Narrow home win.
Athletic Bilbao hosting Celta Vigo.
Home win for Athletic.
Deportivo La Coruña travelling to Atletico Madrid.
Depor very leaky. Atletico Madrid back-to-back defeats in the league and the cup, but a home win for Atletico Madrid.
The last game on Sunday is Barcelona travelling to Seville to take on Betis.
Well, this is what might balance out the Real Madrid dropping points. It wouldn't surprise me as a draw, but I'm going to go for Barcelona away win, but only just.
OK, and on Monday night in Vallecas, it's Rayo Vallecano against Zaragoza.
Home win, of course, for the mighty Rayo Vallecano.
OK, so let's get your score and scorer prediction for the game in Valladolid. You think it might necessarily not go Real Madrid's way?
Yeah, I do think not quite the same intensity away from home, but of course they can always prove me wrong. I do think that perhaps Valladolid will take the lead like Betis did, but this time Real Madrid will manage to get one back.
OK, so you think it's going to be 1-1?
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's all we've got time for on this edition of The Match. If you're going to Valladolid, wrap up warm. From Tim and myself, it's adios.